How many times have you seen a homeless person out on the street? Have you ever wondered what led to them becoming homeless? A significant cause of homelessness is due to the world housing crisis. There are many parts to the world housing crisis, but I will only be covering 3 today. The 3 causes of the housing crisis are the rising COVID-19 cases, eviction, and weather. First, let's discuss the rising COVID-19 cases. According to the Wisconsin State Journal, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected many people in the world and has caused many people to become homeless. In just the state of Wisconsin, there is a huge number of people without a home, and that number does not even include those who are about to lose their home or those who do not have enough money to live comfortably. The state's local officials have worked hard to provide some sort of emergency housing for people who have become homeless due to the pandemic. They have also done financing to hopefully help people keep their homes and not have to be evicted. As the COVID-19 pandemic keeps going strong, that financing to help people in the community is slowly decreasing, even though everyone is doing the best they can to combat it. This also heavily affects people with very low income that are at risk of becoming homeless in the future. Second, let's discuss eviction. According to VT Digger News Text, many people who live in Vermont have had a very rough time finding housing. Many veterans get money from the United States Department of Affairs and Social Security for disability benefits. This is the lifestyle of Dan Moss, a veteran of the United States military. He works different jobs, but essentially depends on the money he gets from the United States government. The money that Dan Moss gets is not nearly enough to live comfortably in the state of Vermont. When looking for rental houses, Dan expresses that the money he gets is not enough to pay rent. If Moss does end up finding a house, there is a very good chance that he would be evicted. The law in Vermont lets landlords get rid of their tenants basically without any cause. Most places in the rest of America need a very specific reason for evicting a tenant, such as not paying their rent on time or breaking a rule. But Vermont law says that it is up to the landlord of the property. Most landlords will evict their tenants as a no-cause eviction because it does not require a long legal procedure. This is not fair to veterans such as Moss, who is being compensated for his duty to his country, and there is just not enough housing to go around. And lastly, let's discuss the weather. According to Toronto Star newspapers, as the weather changes and gets colder, more and more people are sent into homelessness. When it gets colder, more homeless people race to churches, homeless shelters, and basically any place with a roof that they can find. After a while, these places become extremely overcrowded, and many people are forced to leave and live out on the streets. Bob Shenton, a man who has been homeless, is dealing with the coming winter in Toronto, Canada, where the homeless number has gone up a great number in just a year. Shelters are extremely busy in the colder months. Many nights, men and women's shelters can get 100% capacity, which in return results in more people out in the cold at night. These shelters can even become overcrowded with even over 100% capacity, which turns more and more people away. Outdoor shelters are not as common when the weather gets cold because many people go to hopefully find indoor shelter where they can be somewhere warm. Today, I chose to talk about the world housing crisis that is leading to homelessness. Some of the different types of housing crises are the rising COVID-19 cases, eviction, and weather. I am 100% sure that we have all seen a homeless person out on the street and wondered what led to them becoming homeless. I believe that if we were to actively work on improving the housing crisis, the amount of homeless people would decrease.